glad to see you all here. Today we're going to try something new. And you've just seen part of it. That's Ruby. Ruby is exiting out of the scene. I was finding that trying to do videos at home, while at the same time homeschooling and having a puppy was a little bit stressful. And instead of trying to go against the grain now, I'm just going to go with the flow of things. And the fact is that life works like that for me. So if the dog is in the shot, she's crying in the background right now. We're just going to roll with that because such is life. Your life works very well the same way. So we're going to do things together because this is, if you're going to implement any of these things at home, you too have a life, and the phone will ring and the dog will bark and things will happen. So what we're going to be doing today is a little bit different because in this case, instead of giving you guys ideas of things that I've done before and I know might make some difference for you, your health, and particularly MS, in this case, I'm going to be trying something new that I haven't done before. And I'll give you guys updated progress, maybe do it like a week by week. That will just show where I started and how things turned out. So as most of you will know, I am a yoga teacher. In the past, my balance has been spot on. I used to be able to do tree pose the whole time of watching a TV show and stay focused even while moving without a drishti or a focus point. Just watching TV, I could still stand straight. I could snowboard. I could do all kinds of things, and I was completely fine. This last relapse really did take out a few things. So my strength was gone. My muscles were very weak. I was uncoordinated. My proprioception, which is my ability to feel where my body was in space, was severely damaged. And then also even just the fact that like there's no sensory system. So my feet are numb. So it's very hard because there's no sense information coming and traveling up the afferent nerves into my brain to be processed, which then work with your motor nerves as they descend back down to tell you where to move in space. So for any of you that, whether it's MS or maybe you've just had some kind of nerve damage in the past, could be Parkinson's, could just be even like an inner ear problem, vertigo causing it, these things might be an issue for you. So what I'm going to do, this is going to just be a starting baseline for where my balance is. And then I'm going to let you know what I'm going to be doing to try to train to work on that. And then we'll just kind of follow it along and see if the things that I'm doing are working at all. And then if they are or they aren't, I'll let you know either way because I don't want you to waste your time doing things that maybe aren't working. Or if they are, then wonderful. Let's add one more thing to our toolbox to help us improve the quality of our life. Okay, so my toes are getting licked by the puppy. That is a bit distracting. Okay, so for the first test then is I'm not even going to try tree pose because I already know the fact that when I move my leg out to the side, it's already throwing my body off balance a bit. And I'm very struggling even to lift my toe off the ground. So I'm going to do something that's a little simpler than that. And because we are focusing yoga as a way to make our body improve. Before we even try this, I want all of you to be putting your feet flat on the ground and lifting your toes up so that all four corners of your foot feel grounded and feel that connection. And from that connection, we kind of move up. We lift our kneecaps a little bit. We tilt our tailbone facing down, pelvic kind of up. Think about having our heart and our shoulders over top of our hips, and then your head straight over top. Now in this case, if you want and you feel like it's going to give you more stability, go ahead then and lift your hands. You can lift them up high, out to the side, whatever makes you feel like it's going to get some balance. Because again, we are trying to succeed here, not fail. So let's see, with all of the intention focused inwards onto our body awareness. And even if you don't have sensation or you don't have it somewhere, envision having it because we're trying to build those neural connections now to remind our body and train our body what it used to feel like and how it wants to feel again so that we can have balance. And balance not even just in our body, but balance in our life. Because yoga is not just about your body, it is a spiritual practice. So now standing in that position, like a mountain pose, you're going to transfer your weight onto one side. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to start and I'm going to try to just lift my foot off the ground. And I'm not going to look at the camera here for a second because I'm going to try to find a spot to focus on. And I'm just going to see what my body's ability is even right now. Okay, so there we go. We have very limited I don't know if we're talking only like a second or two of being able to balance up. Now, there's two different things happening here. So I'm standing on a foam mat, and a foam mat, this one's not a yoga mat, it's a workout mat. So the foam is a bit thicker. So when you do that, it's actually creating your body to have to stabilize even more because the foam is moving each time your body corrects a little bit. So if I move out onto the hardwood floor, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm actually now in the camera anymore, so maybe I can step behind the mat onto the floor. When your body is now on a hard surface that doesn't move, I'm going to imagine now that as I steady my body and I stand up, let's see if that ends up being correct, but that it does work to balance a little bit longer because the ground is not moving underneath me now. So I can already see that that's very much so improved. Okay, so now we're going to attempt on the other leg and see. Now my right leg has more strength and feeling in it than my left one does. So I'm going to imagine that this one is going to struggle harder. Oh, actually it's surprisingly worked a little better. And we'll come off now onto the floor. Maybe it was because that one I wasn't talking to you, so my brain was only focusing just on one thing there. Okay, so we have a few seconds there. So that's one of the things. So then the other one we're going to do, and again, this is a yoga. This one is called Goddess, but this is going to give us a good idea as well of our balance. So in this one, again, we can do something with our arms up, like a cactus arm is a common way to practice this pose. And it does then also remind you to be aligned. So your hips, your shoulders, your chin, like all of it is going to be in line with each other. The arms out help to balance a bit. And our toes are going to be pointed out in the same direction as our knees, almost like on a 90-degree angle out to the edges of the mat. We breathe in, and then in this case, I'm going to lift just one foot up first just to kind of wake up those muscles. We're going to drop it down. I'm teetering on this. I don't know how much it shows in the camera. We do it with the other one. Now here's the real test. This is what I'm hoping to increase over time. If I can even do it right now, we'll try to lift both heels off the ground. So I'm going to count this then. 1, 2, 3, and I'm really tipping 4. Okay, so almost 5 seconds with a lot of strain and effort. Okay, so another thing that I'm going to be testing over time is going to be my ability to step back. Really with the dog here, she's really quite in the way, but okay. So hip width apart, standing on the mat, and trying to do a reverse lunge, because what makes that even more difficult is you can't use your eyes now to predict where your body is in space, which is what a lot of people that have issues with their proprioception, if you have your eyes to tell you where you are in space, just like your ears can tell you. But in this case, if I'm stepping backwards, I'm really relying just on my body to be able to be aware of itself and what it's about to do. Now, for some people, like I know before, my vision was terrible. And the fact that my eyes weren't helping me was making it much worse. So even now, there she goes, out of the way. Okay, perfect. Full feet on the mat. So even now, I find that when I close my eyes in the shower, I tip and I have to hold on to a safety rail. And going back in history too, one of my first times I ever had any notion of neurological issues, I think I was maybe like 20 years old, and I was having this problem that every time I closed my eyes in the shower, I would fall down. And the doctor told me then that it was an ear infection from swimming in Lake Ontario. And I've had so many ear infections, I just took that as probably true. And looking back, probably that could have been the startings of vertigo and MS, but just not knowing then. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use my hands up as a little bit of balance again, and I'm just going to try to step back. And we'll start, I'm going to go with my stronger leg first, which is my right leg. So I'll step back with my left and just see what kind of happens. Okay, so I was able on the second try to get it in line, and I'm finding that pretty tippy though. Okay, so now going weight on my left leg, stepping back with my right leg, we'll see what happens. Okay, so tipped over, needing some help there. And again, if you guys have MS and you're doing any of these things, please don't do this in an open area then where you're going to fall down or get hurt. I do have the fireplace to hold on to here. So I'm going to start with just these ones for right now, because these ones to me already seem like a good indication. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's not true. Let's do one more too. So these are ones they do for any of you in an office, like if you are getting a neurological test when you have MS. So this one is first putting one foot. So I'll do it this way just first so you can see that one foot is going to go like right in front of the other one. So this is kind of like the sobriety test the police would give you if they pull you over for suspected drinking and driving. So I'm going to do this again where I have the option to hold on to this if I'm about to fall over, because I have a feeling this is going to be a difficult one. And I'm going to use my eyes this time walking forward though, so I can actually track where I am, which should help a little bit. And we'll see how efficiently this can happen. Okay, made it without touching. Okay, so that's pretty difficult. We'll see if we can improve that over the coming weeks. Another one that they have done for me in the office before, and my last time wasn't even able to even attempt to do it. I have improved quite a bit since then. It's just to walk on your heels. So we'll see how that one goes. Okay, so I've touched my toe once down, hung on to the wall once. Okay, and made it to the end. So we'll look at this again about a week's time. And okay, I was going to show you the tool that we're going to be using. So the dog is lying on it because she does think that this is hers now. So let's see, she's pretty heavy. Oh boy, can I lift her into the room? Yeah, okay, we're bringing her in. Bring her right into the shot. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so we're back, take two. We've got the rebounder in the shot now. The dog won't stop jumping on it because she's a puppy and she thinks that this is like the most fun thing ever. So rebounders are, first of all, I mean, before I was having all these health issues, would have been totally fun because I've seen videos of people doing wild things on this. A great way to get some exercise. But right now for me, the real benefit was twofold for this. So one is that you've got the railing that makes it safe to be on here. Second is that it has this, because it's got this bouncy off center kind of a thing, it really is making your feet move in all kinds of directions, which are, starting to get those muscles all coordinating again that's required to balance, but in a safe way and in a fun way. And then also because any of you that are struggling to maintain moderate or intense exercise of any kind because of your limitations with your MS or your health, it's really hard to sweat, detoxify, move your lymph system, to do any of these things because you're sedentary. Or at least, even for me now, I can take the dog for a walk or some small thing. I get fatigued pretty quickly. I do yoga, but it's more now restorative and yin yoga that's on the floor as opposed to anything that like a flow or vinyasa or anything that might have been power yoga, anything that was a little more of like an actual physical exertion. Not in my repertoire for the moment. It will be again, and for you too. Whatever it was, I can't wait to go for a run again. And the rebounder just gives your body a way to get everything moving again. Maybe you could get sweating. Maybe you could move your lymph system in a way that's still safe and in your own home as well too. So one of the easiest things to do for this, just to get your lymph moving, which is recommended, is not like when my kids are getting on it, they're actually using it like a trampoline, but it's just to go up on the ball of your foot and just bounce back down. So this gets your lymph moving. And this moves everything around your body because remember, your lymph doesn't have a pump. So you actually physically have to make it move. So in doing that, and it also it's going to elevate your heart rate as you do this too, and working on your balance. So that's good. Now, any of you that know and have done also qigong, is that when you vibrate your body, there's something about that like harmonizes you, it balances you, it makes you feel happier, it works on your nervous system to calm you. So this idea of like dropping, it kind of sends like a reverberation or oscillation up your body. So it's good for you in other ways too, besides just the obvious one. It's like it does something energetically. So I'm going to be doing that. And again, I can just do this now while I'm watching TV at night. I don't really have to add this into a daily ritual or to my habit. You can just do this even while I'm actually homeschooling my daughter or we're working on something. I can see her at the kitchen table. Maybe I can do this then. So I feel like even though this is not as easy as some of the other things, there obviously is a cost to this. This is I think I got it. I don't like to order from Amazon, but they do deliver quick and it's cheaper. So I think it was $99 from Amazon. So it's not the end of the world. It is some kind of a cost. So, I mean, if you feel like you might actually use it, maybe it's worth the investment, or you can wait until I'm done this series and then perhaps maybe decide then if you want to do it. But on top now of using this just for the lymph and getting moving, so just like the rebounding of it, I'm going to use this for some other things too. So some of the things I was thinking that I would add into my daily, and I'm going to try to do it daily, if not at least 5 times a week, is, and again, when you're doing a squat, lifting your toes up so that you're not gripping with your toes, but you're actually balancing from your foot, squatting down, and as you come up, lifting out to one side, because that's really coordinating a lot of balance muscles. So again, as you're squatting down on the rise, you're going to come up and lift your leg to the side. And then just repeating these over and over. Now, in the beginning, because I'm not quite sure how this will work with my balance, I am going to use both hands. What I'm hoping is that over time, maybe lifting it up so there's no fingers, you're just kind of lightly balancing, or maybe we'll be able to get into just doing one hand. We'll see like as things progress. Another thing I want to do with this is because doing yoga, eventually the goal is to be able to do this on the floor without support of something. Is from this position, maybe now actually trying to do a version of a tree pose. And again, maybe trying to balance with one hand. Or this could also then now be working on dancer's pose. So with our leg behind us, this way we get an arch in our back, we get a quad stretch, or maybe even be able to do that just to do any kind of stretching here. So there's all kinds of variations. I'm sure you could do a multitude of things. As I go along with this, maybe I will post like an actual list of the different exercises. Specifically, I did so that if we're comparing progress over time, there's like a clear delineation of where I started with how my balancing went, how many days a week I did it, and what particular exercises. But I think for today, like this is brand new. It just got unboxed, so I haven't really had a chance to use it yet or design a routine. I'll be playing around with it tonight, and I'll get a specific kind of thing that makes sense, because my goal is not just balance for me, but it's getting back to yoga, because yoga has so many other benefits. And so I'm still being able to practice a lot of meditation and a lot of the spiritualness and the disciplines of yoga, and the floor yoga too. Like there's a lot of things you can still do regardless of what condition you currently are in. But I would like to get back to some of the more advanced things, especially as a yoga teacher. I feel, it's not good to put pressure on ourselves, but some level of pressure to be able to not only help my students, but demonstrate to them the potential of things that they can do as well. So I'm hoping that I can heal myself and also be an inspiration and get myself somewhere so that I can help you join me there too. So I think with that being said, I'm going to turn this off for the day and make sure the puppy's actually not eating the fabric on the corner of this with her bone. So enjoy the rest of your week until we talk again about this. Have a great, blessed day and a blessed life. Namaste. So the program that I decided to follow after practicing and playing with it the first night is all the same exercises I already showed you during the video. So what I did was the rebound bouncing, keeping my toes and the ball of my foot on the bouncer and just lifting my heels and dropping back down. And I did this for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, my heart rate was a little bit elevated, but I still had energy. And so from this, I moved into doing squats. And here I hang on with both hands on this round and this week. And as I squat down, as I'm coming back up, I'm lifting my leg first to one side, then to the other. And I did this 10 times on each leg. After that was done, I did dancer's pose. Now, I haven't done this one for a couple years because of my current relapse, so I was a bit stiff too. I did find my way into a modified version of this pose comfortably, but if this is too much for you because you don't have the flexibility, then just do a quad stretch here, just because this is a nice stretch to do while you have something to hold on to, and because you're only using one foot, you're getting balance as well as a stretch. After I did a quad stretch and I held that for about a minute, I then moved into doing a tree pose. And the tree pose now, I just want you to realize in the video I'm showing you and the picture, my foot is over my knee. This is an incorrect posture. This is just because I was speaking to you and I have numbness in my foot and I couldn't tell where in space it was on me. But when you're doing this exercise, please either keep your foot above your knee, on your thigh, or below on your calf, whichever you're capable of doing. Don't press against your knee because it causes undue pressure on your joint. With that in mind, what I did was I did this and I held the tree pose and dancer pose for about 1 minute at a time on each leg. After the first round, I felt pretty good, so I did the second round of the first activities. But once I got to dancer's pose, my left leg was not capable of holding for an entire minute, and it gave out on me. So I took that as my body's cue and clue that this was where I'd reached my limit for this first day. I'll try to expand on it each day and each week as we move through. I was thinking of doing 3 rounds to start with, but I guess I'll have to work my way towards that. So if you're going to be trying any version of this at home, please again respect your own body, hold on and make sure that you're safe and that maybe somebody is there in case you do have a tumble, and only do what's comfortable because we'd rather build on our practice every day than push too hard and become injured on the first day. So good luck if you practice this at home, and if not, if you're just curious to watch my progress, I'll be back with you another week once I've completed a few weeks of this, and I'll have it broken down into weekly updates. Hopefully this works great for me and for you.